Hola, hello, salam, konnichiwa, guten tag, ciao, y bienvenidos. Hello. I hope that you are enjoying or laughing at my different languages of saying hello and welcome. I hope you have had a great past few days. We are having a heat wave in Texas. It was 107 yesterday, and talk about hot. So, we're having a lot of wildfires here. So, please say a prayer for us to get some rain soon, soon, soon. Um, so, a lot of people don't like to talk about death. Who does? I mean, it's not one of my favorite things, but it's reality. And I have a bit of a humorous side that I'm going to share with you. And then I'll give you my thoughts. And then you can think whatever you want to think. That's up to you. So if you're listening to this podcast in hopes that I do have the answers of what happens to us when we die, well, sorry, I don't. Although this is the way I would like my death to occur. I would be at my house and the doorbell would ring. And I would go and look through the people. See who it is. Usually it's someone selling something, even though I have a no solicitor sign on near my front door. And I would look and I'd think, no, don't think it's a singing telegram. Doesn't look like a male stripper. Wait, what's this person wearing? He's all in black. So I would be a little bit cautious about opening the door, even though I would know that fate is actually knocking at my door, and I would have no choice but to let death in. So I would open the door with caution and let death in and ask if he, she, it would like coffee, soda, wine, water, any type of beverage prolonging this visit. Maybe slip them a little Mickey. You've heard of this, slipping a Mickey. That's when you drug a beverage and sometimes poisoning someone. But I don't know if I could poison death. I don't think it would take. So I guess we'd sit and chat for a little bit. And I might even ask, do I have to go? Because you see, as I'm pulling out my calendar on my phone, then going to get the paper calendar, and I'm like, I don't have this trip written down on this particular day, and I am not really sure if I have time to do this. Well, I think death would go on to explain why and how come, and then I would have to just accept my fate and go. Death might ask if I would like to say goodbye to any of my loved ones, close friends, acquaintances. I would have to decline because I hate goodbyes. I mean, they always make me cry. Even if I see a goodbye on a movie, I get upset. Other than, bye, see you later. But then, those see you laters don't always happen because of death. Then I said, well, if I go and say goodbye to someone and I start crying, then more than likely they're going to start crying. Then we have this chain reaction. Well, I think you all get the picture. So I think that I would rather take death by the hand and just leave. Where? I have no idea. I guess that would be another adventure that I would be able to write or talk about for all the lost souls to read while they're looking for their final destination. This way is too simple, isn't it? Now for the serious part. I know. Ooh, who wants to be serious about death? Don't think that I didn't hear any of you grumbling, because I did. Death can be traumatic for some, and yet a sigh of relief for others. What do I mean by that? Traumatic. A sigh of relief. What traumatic? Death sometimes happens when we least expect it, through a car accident or just something horrible that happened. Well, when you know someone and care for someone, especially a family member, it is so mentally and physically draining. Then all of a sudden you have to continue your life without this certain person. This is not an easy task. When that person has been with you for many, many years and you wake up one morning and they are gone, it's very confusing, and you start to ask why. Why did that have to happen? Why not me instead? The sad thing is that you expect everything to stop and just stand still because you have just lost someone very important in your life. Guess what? It doesn't. It doesn't stop. And I will tell you this from experience. The world literally keeps spinning and the traffic keeps moving and life goes on, and we have to go on too. Easier said than done for some. But there's no choice here. No choice at all. Well, I take that back. There is a choice. You can either dwell on it and put your life at a standstill, or you can continue to grow and keep those memories alive that you have, and the love, and a reminder to cherish each and every one who you care for. Use the knowledge that was given and use it in the best ability, because we learn something from everyone. You may not think so, but you do. I think that it is so funny and weird when people say this after you've lost a loved one. Oh, you know that they are in such a better place now. Duh, that's not something I want to hear when you are mourning a death. It's just not. I have to admit, I've probably have said it before. I'm sure I have in my life. You may not believe this, but you will survive this part of your life too. Is it easy? No, don't think so. For some it is, but it will make you a stronger person in accepting the way life is. And we do have many choices that we can make in life. Unfortunately, death and when we die is not one. Now, for the sigh of relief of someone dying. Geez, how can I even think a sigh of relief for someone's death? Well, believe it or not, folks, cannot. There are people that just cannot wait for others to pass on. Heck, if they could, they would call death and say, "Hey, death, I have a pickup and here's the address." It sounds horrible, doesn't it? Some people want someone to die only because they may have reasons. I don't know why. Maybe they've been abused, and they're hoping that this person, rots and dies a horrible death, which is awful to think. But some people do think like that, and you know it. Or maybe they're a burden and an interruption in their own personal life due to an illness. And my favorite one of all, why people want people to die, and that is for the love of money and that inheritance waiting for them. Can you believe that? And yes, that's true. Some people have the money already spent before the corpse is even cool. I know that sounds harsh, doesn't it? But it is reality. And believe it or not, I've heard of some people saying, I can't wait. This is what I'm going to do with their money when they pass on. What? What are you thinking? That's so sad. I've even heard people say this. Well, it was just time for them to go. What? Why? Why would you say that? And I've heard people say this, believe it or not. That's painful. And I just am glad that person who died was not here to hear that, because that's awful. That's just awful. So I say, love those around you and learn to forgive. I know there was an episode on forgiving and forget it and apologizing, because it's very important. So again, love those around you and learn to forgive. We know that forgetting is not something humans can do very easily. But if you don't forgive someone and that person passes away, I don't think you're going to feel very good. Now, if someone is a burden to you just because they're sick, yes, people, if there's someone sick, there are people like, oh, they're such a burden. You know what you need to do? If you're listening to this, you need to stay away and ask someone who can actually show some love and compassion and care for this ill person to take over your responsibility of your burdens. Because the person that is your burden will know how you feel. Oh no, I hide it well, but there's so much trouble. Trust me, they will know. So be gracious and let someone else do the caring, and you stay away. Let their last few months, weeks, days be with someone who wants to show some compassion and caring. They don't want to have to hear a lot of heavy sighs when they need a glass of water, or rolling of the eyes, or what do you want now? They don't need to hear that. They're on their deathbed, people. Find someone that can help them through the last few days of their life. We all have to die someday, and you know that. Again, now that is not a choice. So I want to share something. I don't know how many of you know the actor Michael Landon. He was actor in the 60s and 70s. Hold on, I've got some paperwork here. And I just loved him, of course. He was on a show in the 60s called Bonanza, Little Joe, Little House on the Prairie, Charles Ingle. And his last show was Touched by an Angel, and his character was Jonathan Smith. And what he did in that show, he helped people on Earth because he was trying to earn his wings. Kind of sounds like Clarence and It's a Wonderful Life, right? But just knowing that character was actually helping people, watching that shows that show care and God's love is always amazing to me. I'm sure you can stream it on some, I probably, I don't actually know. I'm just making this up, but I'm sure you can stream it on YouTube or somewhere. But he did have this great quote. And he said, somebody should tell us right at the start of our lives that we are dying. Then we might live life to the limit every minute of every day. Do it, I say. Whatever you want to do, do it now. There are only so many tomorrows. And that's Michael Landon's quote. Because he passed away at the age of 54 of cancer. I think it was pancreatic cancer. And you may know his daughter, if you watch Yellowstone, the character Teeter, that is his daughter, Jennifer Landon. And she is fun to watch on that show. She's a good character, like her daddy. So, again, let's remember, hopefully, when death comes, you will be leaving some wonderful lessons of life, acts of kindness, love, and most of all, wonderful memories behind. So, when you wake up tomorrow, or if you wake up tomorrow, Thank God for another day. And then pray that you will see the next day and the next and the next. But if your doorbell should ring and death is at the door, ask if he would like some coffee or soda or wine or whatever. Then take death by the hand and just remember one thing, that you are going to be in such a better place. Now, this is a little humor on death, maybe a little bit morbid for some. Don't mean to offend anyone. These are just my thoughts and opinions. Until later, this is Henrie. Have a great life. Go find your blessings.